Zohran Mamdani working out. The notion that like right-wingers work out more than leftists do or liberals do, all this stuff is bullshit, is ridiculous, is so dumb. But no one, and I mean no one, is dumber than Ben Shapiro talking about this. Because like Brett Cooper gets into it and she's doing all the back and forth. She's yapping. Recalibrate. But we got to talk about Ben Shabibo coming out and also swinging at Zohran Mamdani. Ben Shapiro is attacking
Mamdani apparently cannot lift like one of those shake weights. And we now have video of it, and it's pretty impressive. Because he has to have this guy. They're cheering him. He does not get 3. 2 very assisted. Very, very assisted. Bench presses at 135 pounds. If you are going to do something like this and you're a public figure, you have to know your limitations. If you don't know how much you can bench, this is not a great time to try it out. It's like in front of a giant.
Why? Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why is this a problem? Who gives a shit? Zohran has never presented himself as like this specimen that can like lift super high weights or whatever. If anything, it's more embarrassing when I see RFK Jr., who literally has made working out a important plank of his entire political identity, wear a goddamn lifting shirt and do half reps with like sub 135 pounds. That's infinitely more embarrassing than Zohran Mamdani being incapable of putting up 135 pounds, okay? Zohran Mamdani's not like a fucking lifter. I literally asked him if he works out, and he said he does not. I was shocked by this because he's very physically fit. The reason why he's very physically fit is because he walks a lot, okay? He's a cardio boy. It's all good.
A decent bench for a man is his own body weight. Zohran Mamdani, I assume, weighs more than 135 pounds.
I think Ben's saying that because he's like maximum 130 pounds, I guess, because that's not true. There's diminishing returns. And even if you're 130 pounds, like, no, benching your body weight is somewhat impressive. I would say it's past the point of like introductory. Utilizing just your pectoral muscles to be able to lift your entire body is an impressive lift. That is an achievement. That's not something you just arrive at with ease, no matter how light you are. Now, of course, when you're short, like Ben is, and you're lighter, like Ben is, you do have some lifting advantages. This is true, right? That's why the memes are, you know, someone who's like 5'6" can just like touch a weight and then immediately become brolic. It's like, lifting memes. It's like automatic steroids. But overall, this is just a dick slinging competition for incredibly, immensely insecure people.
At all. I'm not a bench press enthusiast. For the record, I max out at around 200 pounds. So I'm not like an amazing.
First of all, if Ben Shapiro actually could do a 200-pound PR, that's fairly impressive for his size. The fact that he's also saying that that's not that impressive is ridiculous. And I don't believe that at all. I need to see it to believe it. I do not believe it. I do not believe that at all. You just said something that I've been curious about. Is walking really a good way to burn calories? I walk my dogs about 3 miles every day when it's not 110 degrees in Fort Worth, but I don't know if I should be doing more cardio on those days. Yes, walking is the best way to lose weight if you want to lose weight. It's low intensity cardio. Also, let me tell you something. The fact that he said his PR is 200 is also oddly suspicious. In the longer video, he also talks about Zohran's weights, and he doesn't immediately clock that it's 135 pounds. Every person, every novice lifter that's been inside of a gym immediately knows one 145-pound plate on one side and 145 plate on the other side is introductory. It's 135 pounds. At least for someone like myself who's been lifting for many, many years, that's like my warm-up, right? If you have a lot of experience in this field, this is a warm-up weight. Like, let's be real, okay? That doesn't mean anything, though, because for someone like myself, it might be a warm-up, but for many others, it's, a fairly high amount of weight, and that is perfectly fine, okay? But everybody knows instantly what 135 pounds is if they have worked out at all. 200 pounds as your max weight is a very weird number to arrive at. Either he did the calculation off of how many reps he can do and arrived at the 200-pound number, or he's just making it up. because it's a little suspicious. When you look at weights, like you would probably not get to 200 pounds unless you are actively trying to reach a PR of 200 pounds by adding like 1.5 pounds on the sides, things of that nature. Because like I said, it's just normally it would probably be like 205, I suspect, or 225 or 215. It wouldn't just be like I know that those plates exist, chatter. I'm just saying it's not a very common weight that you would point to.
Amazing bench press connoisseur. Even I can lift 135 pounds, probably 15 times.
He can't. That's a lie. I think that's cap. I don't think he could do 15 for 135. It would be impressive for his size, I would say. There's 0% chance that he could do good form 15, 135. That probably is the load-bearing statement on this entire process, okay? Very, very load-bearing. Probably, he says. Bench press, oh yeah, he did the bench press weight calculator. He put in 15 times for 135, and he said your approximate 1 rep match bench press. I mean, he is more physically fit than you would expect. That doesn't mean that he is actually throwing up. I don't think he's throwing up 135 for 15. Proof he can lift.
How often are you hitting the gym right now? Got to be tough when you're super tired with the kiddies. I've still been hitting it every weekday. Weekends are very difficult because I'm really on top of the kids. But every weekday I try to hit the gym for an hour with a trainer. So, that's how you get the gun show, guys. You think this stuff, just happens magically? Wrong. Okay, we are late for the gun show, so let me do that real fast because we're going to hit the end of this thing real fast here.
Yeah, that's also his biceps, which are important for stability and his triceps are certainly important for stability and putting up a decent amount of weight, but we need to see those pectoral muscles to make a decent assessment. In any case, I would love to see Ben do 15 times for 135. I think that would be impressive for his size.
And the 33-year-old socialist, again, he's 33, which is like young in the prime of life. He tried to bench. Now, my dude, let me just say.
Dude. If it's irrelevant, why do you keep talking about it? Because it's funny. Also, this is what the opposition is worried about. This is what they're predisposed with. I want to see Ben throw a 50-pound backpack and hike 16, 20 miles a day if we're just setting arbitrary standards with no practical relevance. It's hilarious how Ben's fixating on this, but it's good for little tabloid drama clicks. It's not, though, because clearly it's not working. Look at him. 126,000 views. He is so cooked. The reason why I get annoyed by this is, one, I lift, and it's an important part of my life, and I want other people to go out and work out as well. And also, I hate when Republicans basically just steal through the optics of claiming ownership over certain concepts, through the process of repetition, make it seem as though they have ownership over this space. They do not. It's utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things as it pertains to Zohran Mamdani's electoral victory potentially, which seems all but guaranteed. Having said that, however, the nefarious part about this is that right-wing content creators try to own this space when it does not correspond to reality. It's not the case that the right-wingers are objectively in better shape than liberals or leftists are. It's actually the opposite. Not that it matters. If there's one subsect of American society that is genuinely in better shape than everybody else, it's homosexual men. That's it. That's why we say gay body is a totally separate classification. You can be swole, but being gay swole is very different. And they love voting for the Democrats. Why do you think this matters to the opposition? It goes back to the same thing that I was talking about, which is culture wars and aesthetics. Republicans love maintaining ownership over certain concepts like machismo, right? And they shape what machismo and being masculine is supposed to look like by simply saying certain things. So you don't actually have to be a secure person. You don't actually have to go to the gym. All you need to do is say you're a Republican, and then that comes along with it. Having someone like Ben Shapiro, who is a whiny little twerp, try to take ownership over the gym space is a hilarious example of this. I'm more frustrated with this concept than anything else. they try to take ownership over authenticity by substituting authenticity with being a fucking asshole. And they succeed on that front on the internet. That's the reason why so many people think like, oh, if someone is being kind to others or advocating to be kind to others, they're a pussy, they're a liar, they must be cynical, they must be grifting. No one would dare be nice to one another. The same goes for being macho, being masculine, being a man. Like if you're a right winger, that's all you need. It's all posturing. There's a gym bro code. You don't make fun of someone who doesn't lift, trying to live. Once you reach a level of experience, that rule change depending on the toxicity of the gym, but you never bully a newbie because there's always someone that can warm up with your PR. Exactly. That's it. That's the cardinal rule of being a gym guy. But every gym guy at a certain point was weak, okay? There's a starting point for everybody, and the goal is to get as many people in the gym as possible. That's what gym bros want.
135 pounds is not a lot of weight, like not a lot of weight at all. And I'm not a bench press enthusiast. For the record, I max out at around 200 pounds. So I'm not like an amazing bench press connoisseur. Even I can lift 135 pounds, probably 15 times, because that's not a lot of weight. Zohran Mamdani, it doesn't go well. Here's how it went in Brooklyn.
Here's the thing. This is a mayoral race. It is not going to be determined by who can out bench press one another. It's going to be determined by how many people show up to vote for you. And if you look at those two different videos between Eric Adams and Zohran Mamdani, you can kind of get a better understanding of what's going on there. Eric Adams had nobody around him when he was lifting. Zohran had a ton of people around him when he was lifting, and everybody was cheering for him because they don't give a fuck that he can't put up 135 pounds. That's it. At the end of the day, this doesn't determine anything.
He has to have this guy.
Let's go.
They're cheering him.
Yeah. Let me get one more. Let me get three. Yeah.
He does not get three. He gets two.
He does not get three. Bro, you're a fucking loser, bro. You are a goddamn nerd. Shut the fuck up. You look and sound like you need to be shoved into a goddamn locker, and you're over here being like, he couldn't get 135 pounds. I, on the other hand, am strong. It's like, come on, dude. Shut your bitch ass up. It's the same with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was talking shit too. It's like, okay, I can outlive both of you motherfuckers, okay? Shut the fuck up. That doesn't mean anything, all right?
Very assisted. Very, very assisted. Bench presses at 135 pounds. So that's not great. Well, Mayor Eric Adams and ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo, both of whom left, pounced on the opportunity, according to the New York Post. Mayor Adams went to the same exact event.
Like, we need to stop with this shit, okay? Donald Trump can't lift anything. That's number one. Not that it matters. He can't do nothing. And also, you're a fucking dweeb, bro. You are a goddamn nerd-ass loser. Who the put you in charge of making fun of motherfuckers who are trying to put a lift on for the first time in their lives, dude? Get the fuck out of here. What are we talking about? How did this happen? These people used to get bullied for behaving like this. Not because they're nerds, mind you. Because, like, even in that sense, like, Zohran will get bullied too, because he's not exactly like Mr. Macho Man Randy Savage either. But, like, if a nerd-ass loser like this was talking like this in public, they'd be like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? This should piss me off for many different reasons. One, because this is important for me. And two, because it's utterly irrelevant for an election. And last but not least, I hate that Republicans try to seize every opportunity they can to make it seem as though like they have any ownership over this space whatsoever. You got Dr. Abdul Al-Sayed, who I will be doing a lift with in Dearborn when I'm out there in Michigan this weekend. He's putting up 405 on the bench press, and motherfuckers are still talking about who can outbench one another. Like, what are you talking about?
He then called him Mom Scrawny, as opposed to Mom Donnie. Quote, the only thing he can lift is your taxes. Andrew Cuomo.
Bitch.
They did a whole profile on Hassan Piker where they said that because he worked out, because he has like visible abs and flexes and posts photos on his Instagram and then that he has a MAGA body. Like, they are saying the quiet part out loud. They are acknowledging that health is not important to them, that fitness is a right-wing thing.
Yeah, I mean, fitness is not a right-wing thing, and it's very frustrating that people have like done this. And once again, I would go so far as to say it's not dissimilar to the ways in which in like the Gamergate craze, a lot of liberals themselves actually represented like the hysterical woke scold style cartoonish depiction of the left willingly and voluntarily. We have too much marketing people on our side ideologically to consistently allow our opponents to frame the conversation around a reality that does not exist. Not that it matters whether someone is like physically fit or not. Ultimately, I don't give a shit about that kind of thing, even though I personally like it. And I think it's good if people are physically fit in general. But from a political perspective, I don't think it says anything about your politics. Having said that, however, if you were to look at like areas where a lot of Democrats congregate versus areas where a lot of Republicans congregate, and you just put a lineup of like the average Republican versus the average Democrat, I think the physically fit voters would most likely lean on the side of the average Democrat. It's partially born out of material conditions, of course. It's born out of like having disposable income or time to go to the gym, not living in a food desert. Republican areas are poorer on average than Democrat areas are. And a lot of Democrats do care about their health in way more meaningful ways than the Republicans do. It's not dissimilar to like gaming, right? People just think like, oh, gaming is right wing. All gamers are right wing. They're all shitheads. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. It's just that they flood the market with this kind of commentary to try to make it seem as though that's the case. And the same goes for gym culture and shit. They flood the market with content creators that are finding themselves on the apolitical side, which usually snaps to reactionary commentary, reactionary politics. Same with anime, same with everything else. It's very frustrating to experience. Would you say that the main divide between the right and left is how empathetic people are? Because I feel like that's the case in so many cases. Yes. If you bring it back to like two different poles and what like first principles look like without actually identifying them, without actually like getting too far into ideological tendencies and whatnot, it genuinely comes from individualism and empathy. That's it. People on the left flank of politics, adjusted to whatever time frame, adjusted to whatever country, adjusted to whatever culture you want to present, are always going to be the more empathetic side. And people on the right flank of politics, whatever you want to call them, right, are always going to be more on the individualist, selfish, less empathetic side. It's that simple. I got mine. It's a constant struggle, everybody else. That's it. That's why I always say, like, my politics are about not being a shithead and only bullying those who are bullying others. That's what it comes down to. That's unironically what it comes down to. Everything else is just like seasoning. Everything else is just marketing, okay? Yeah, party of me versus party of we.
But anyway, that is what is going on here. Like, no wonder your big candidate can't do that when this is the culture that you've created, when you have created a culture that has villainized health and fitness. And I don't even know if the left cares, like, at all. They villainized this. They've walked away from it. They have lost this. I don't think they care. However, Grand Canyon University does care about the culture that they cultivate.
Oh, shut the up. That's a crazy segue into an ad. Okay, so couple things here. Number one, the notion that like the liberals and the left have like vilified working out, idiotic, incredibly marginal, not a real thing at all. It's just also not a part of objective reality. Once again, okay, look at the average liberal living in a city and how much they work out, whether it's Pilates or yoga or whatever the they're doing, versus the average Republican in a place like Oklahoma, for example. Go to a Walmart. It's ridiculous. I said this even with the MAGA body shit that the New York Times did on my profile, right? That's already incredibly stupid. You can be jacked to the gills and be a liberal or a Republican. None of this shit matters. It's just marketing. These people are just like leaning into that to make it seem as though that is just the case when it just doesn't matter. It's not a part of reality at all. Secondly, and this is perhaps more important, Zohran Mamdani at the age of 33 is infinitely healthier than the average politician, both by his age and also by what kind of work he does. He is incredibly physically fit. He's just not physically fit in the lifting side of things. That's it. What's really frustrating about this process is that Zohran Mamdani walks, 20,000 steps a day. What are we talking about? Get any right-wing Republican Or even someone like myself, I work out all the goddamn time. I wouldn't be able to keep up with him. I wouldn't be able to walk the entire island of Manhattan. It's just a different kind of fit. You're comparing cardiovascular capabilities to strength, pure strength. And cardio is incredibly important. Zohran is a cardio guy, clearly. Like, if that was the case, then Sam Sulek would be the most, like, physically fit guy on the planet.
Moving on, back to the left and them caring about their culture. The funny thing is, even though the left was, putting out these articles and these opinion pieces just 3 months ago, now randomly, they do care about fitness. They do care about hitting the gym, and that's because they've realized that it's losing them votes. Because remember, a few months ago...
Dude, no, this is not real. No one cares. Are you kidding me? No one is like, oh, I'm not going to vote for the Democrats because they don't lift weights. Donald Trump is the president. Donald Trump can't even walk up a flight of stairs. Joe Biden was more physically fit at the age of 900 than Donald Trump, and his brain was leaking out of his ear. Shut the up. This is so dumb. Nobody gives a about how much you can lift, how much you can bench. When it comes to politics, put the policies in the bag. That's it. What is happening? Why does everybody entertain these idiotic arguments? I can't stand this shit, dude. Oh, this person can bench press this much. This person can bench press that much. It's like, who cares?
The Democrats announced that they were going to be investing $20 million in order to figure out how to win back young men. Now, one of the things that they discovered after this incredible research into the syntax and the interest of young American men is that men are going to the gym. So Democrats should be as well. One MSNBC opinion piece talked about this, and in this article... Do you
even vote, bro? Democrats should look at new voters at the gym. Oh, God. Oh. How is Zohran Mamdani so much better at captivating the attention of young voters, young men especially, white men too, than anybody else that's running for the same office, and he can't outlift Andrew Cuomo, Curtis Sliwa, or Eric Adams? How is that possible then? Turns out it has nothing to do with what your bench press is, bro. These people are so dumb. What are we doing? What is this conversation? American politics has to be about everything but politics, okay? Politics, simply put, is about distribution of resources, power, and the continuation of said distribution with violence. Who gets to do violence? Who are the victims of said violence? That's what politics is. In America, on the other hand, politics is anything but what politics actually is. It's about how much you can bench press. It's about whether you put Dijon mustard. It's about whether you wear like whatever the fuck you're wearing. It's all about whatever commodities you're consuming. Are you a Labubu consumer? Are you a Labubu matcha enjoyer? Do you drink raw milk? None of this is about politics, man. When we're talking about actual politicians, what matters is their fucking policies. What the fuck? And Democrats entertain this idiotic notion as well. Cracker Barrel logos. Are they woke? Are they unwoke? What's going on there? It's so stupid. And that is by design, by the way. The reason why American politics is about anything but actual policy and actual politics, how we distribute the finite resources that we have, is by design, because both parties in the duopoly do not stand for the working class. So no one is actually out there invested in truly trying to reverse the trajectory that we're heading in the direction of. That's the reason why everybody plays their own version of the same damn equation, where they have to just be like, oh yeah, I'm a leftist because I work out, or this person is right wing because they drink raw milk and eat 12 eggs a day. Shut up. What are we doing? The reason why Zohran was able to cut away from that noise is because he was issue focused. That's it. We are issue focused. But the problem is Democrats do this shit too. Gavin Newsom is a great example of this. He has been really popping off, making big waves in the Democratic side, where, they keep polling people 3 years out from the actual election to turn around and be like, oh, he's going to be the runner-up. He's going to be the runner-up. Why is he the runner-up? Because he's memeing. He's memeing hard. He's memeing super hard. All of this is utterly irrelevant. Gavin Newsom has major issues. I live in his state, okay? I live under the gruesome rule of gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom in California Oblast. And let me tell you, the housing market is here, okay? Fix it. Meanwhile, what his goals are is to not fix it. He is Mr. Veto. Every goddamn election cycle, there's another ballot measure that's like, let's implement communism in California for all people living on California soil. And then those ballot measures will get passed by like 80% margins. And then gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom will turn around and veto it. He'll be like, nah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say kill homeless people? That's what I'm going to do. It's so fucking stupid. I'm glad that people are fighting back. Okay, that's fine. That's great. But it can't just remain on the trolling side. It just can't. It can't just be like Newsom was right about everything mugs or Trump is not hot tank tops. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Is this merch real? It's not a joke? Yeah, it's not. Nathan J. Robinson, the GOAT, says, when Gavin Newsom loses in 2028, will Democrats learn their lesson and stop running soulless centrists? Or will they just try to keep doing this over and over until the party has 2% support and we finally reach full-blown fascist state? The second thing is what's going to inevitably happen. They're just actively looking for one guy who can cut away from the noise and not rock the boat policy-wise.